Thanks for joining us. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Boston Celtics going up against the Charlotte Hornets here at Spectrum Center. Alongside Greg Anthony, Coach Stan Van Gundy, and our reporter, the Hall of Famer David Aldridge, I'm Kevin Harlan. And tonight, we'll be joined by the man with his finger on the pulse of the NBA, no one better than Shams Charania. Shams, it is so great to have you courtside with us.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much. Talking basketball is what and honestly, we were born to do, so let's do it.
And look at the guys by our side, man. We all love this game. Let's go right into it. Shams, no team is going to run off titles like Boston did in the 60s, but these Celtics have a chance to win their share. What a great start for them.
An absolutely loaded roster. Everyone can defend. Everyone can shoot. They love the versatility they have on their team, and you have to be able to play multiple positions and be versatile to play on this team. It's hard to find a weak link, and it's really championship or bust in Boston.
And it feels so great for their coach, Joe Mazzulla. I know we'll get into that down the road. What a great job he's done.
A young coach who has really found his stride.
And now the opening lineup for Boston. And in the front court, Brown and Tatum. Holiday in the backcourt. To his side is White. And it's Porzingis in at the 5 spot. And for the Hornets, up at forward, it's Miller and Bridges. LaMelo Ball is out there with Trey Mann. And it's Williams at the 5, patrolling the paint. Now here is Holiday. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Porzingis. Bridges with the board. And here's Bridges. He'll bring it up for Charlotte. The dish now to Ball. Passes it to Mann. Boston grabs the miss. Last time they came together was in Charlotte, where they fell to the Hornets.
And really just a bad loss. No other way to put it. I mean, they maybe overlooked some of the bench players because those reserves got loose offensively.
So Shams, our NBA champion Boston Celtics, last year, a terrific record from beginning to end. Could this be a dynasty in the making?
They have all the necessary ingredients. When you think about their top players, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, this is a group that's locked in for the long term. They have Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Al Horford returning. This is a team that has potential to win for the next 3 to 5 years, and that starts with having your key players and your top players locked in. When you think about the teams with dynasty potentials in today's NBA, the Celtics have to be at the top of the list.
And that one drops.
Well, this is the dirty work you love to see Porzingis doing. Saving the play and getting them a bucket.
Ball, the pass to Bridges. Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. That's at 5 from 18. Porzingis with the rebound.
Well, if you give him that shot again, I'm willing to bet he nails it, especially with that lack of defensive effort.
Over in the corner, Brown. That 3 off the mark. For Charlotte, they've gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Now, we talked about expansion. That has been floated around. We know that teams would have to realign. Shams, any ideas on which teams might have to shift with expansion in the East or West?
Certainly, most of the potential expansion cities, the high-level ones, have been noted as teams in the West. Maybe you have a team out east that is in the West moving into the Eastern Conference. But the league could obviously surprise everyone with a different solution, maybe having one expansion team be an Eastern Conference team, one being a West. There's several options that Adam Silver and the NBA have.
I would think New Orleans would be one of those teams, right? Just where they are geographically. Memphis, those 2 teams are in the West, and I could see them maybe going east. Possible?
Certainly Minnesota and Memphis. Those are 2 teams that, to me, have an Eastern Conference feel.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
Tatum kicks to Brown. The 17-footer. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
Well, that's a miss you can live with. I expect they'll go to it again, especially if the defense continues to concede it.
And finished off by Williams.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
White, bounce pass. There's the pass to Tatum. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in. And that one drops for him. So, Shams, when the league brought in that 65 game played rule, it sure seemed to motivate players to suit up.
Those awards aren't just about prestige, Kevin. They're about cold, hard cash. And every summer, we're going to see records set for the biggest contract in NBA history. Every summer that goes by. And that certainly has an effect on players wanting to play and players being in the lineup. Now with the 65 games played rule, there is an incentive for all NBA team and different accolades.
Yes, well said. Now here's White. And in the game with Charlotte, he did not play well. Brown finds White. Tipped away. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So one free throw coming up.
I like that from White. Attacking the heart of that defense.
Charlotte making some changes. Nick Richards, he's checked in for Williams. Josh Green comes in for Miller. And it's Cody Martin in for Trey Mann. Boston also with the sub. Pritchard, he's checked in for Drew Holiday. Last game for the Celtics, it was a loss to Charlotte. Let's check in with our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I got a few minutes with the Hornets head coach. Now, we talked about the difficulty of trying to contain a player like Jaylen Brown. Coach said we can't let him gain confidence and feel like he can do whatever he wants. That's when you get into trouble. Now it's up to the players to make sure this doesn't happen. Guys?
Thank you, David. And he sinks the second. Here's Pritchard. 1:02 left in the first quarter. Pass to Brown. Pass to Pritchard. Clock at 6. For Boston, they have made their only other free throw attempt today on an earlier trip to the line.
And last season, when they got themselves to the line, they usually came through as a team up around 81%.
There are so many different roles Jaylen Brown can take on for his team.
Now, here's Ball. 14 points from him the last game against Boston.
Wow. Missed the easy one right there, right at the rim, but came up empty.
Tatum against Green. Off the left rim and out. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Bridges. And he lays it straight in. And that's now 6 points for Miles Bridges.
Not only a jump shooter, Bridges also dependable at knowing how to get it done inside.
Tatum's shot is off.
Great defensive effort, just saved a basket.
Well, he's such a competitor at that end of the floor. Never takes a possession off.
Absolutely the prettiest play in basketball, executed to perfection.
I don't think you'd get an argument there. Everybody loves the alley-oop. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. It's the Celtics up by 1. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
They've gotten to the line with tremendous consistency here through the first period.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's really hard to get foul calls on the road. Credit them for being so aggressive.
Hey, Shams, for the past decade that you've been a major player in the NBA, it's been LeBron's league, it's been Curry's league. Who else is going to take over this league, you think, coming up around the corner?
Given the NBA Finals we just had, have to throw in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Luka Doncic into the fold as far as faces of the NBA. But Nikola Jokic is so good. He will be one of the guys for a while. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you have to mention him as well. But ultimately, you have to also keep an eye on Victor Wembanyama, the way that Victor Wembanyama could take over the league. And already, so early, was so special. Victor Wembanyama is someone to keep an eye on.
Okay, they just passed a note down to me, or gang here. What about Anthony Edwards at Minnesota? He's another one, right? Young American player who is really making an impact.
Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, you have to consider those two as well. And it's special, the crop of young players that we have coming up in this league. One of them is sure to emerge as this generation's, whether you want to call it Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, there will be a face out of this crop.
And we cannot wait. On the court right now for the Celtics. Horford and Porzingis are manning the post positions. Then it's Holiday. Then there's Jaylen Brown. And it's Pritchard in at point guard.
Terrific finish there from Brown. He goes up strong and absorbs the contact.
And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Bridges deciding where to go with it. The three. Good on the three-point shot. Bridges has got the lead up to 2 now for the Hornets. And Charms, I've always wondered, watching you, reading you, when did you first fall in love with the NBA? And when did you decide to cover it?
Really, when I was around 10, 11 years old, I grew up in Chicago right as the Bulls dynasty was starting. I wasn't quite old enough, but I was old enough to see some of those scrappy Bulls teams in the mid-2000s. And basketball was always a part of the national discourse, but also part of my life playing it, and then now being someone that's able to inform the audience and the public.
You know what? I'm looking up and down this table. I think we all feel the exact same way. Micic, he's checked in for ball, and it's slammed in by Bridges.
Good anticipation from this crafty wingman. Bridges enjoys taking chances and going for the alley-oop.
And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Hey, Kevin. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla has talked about the two J's, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. He says they've been lumped together because they play a similar position, but they don't have to be similar. They've got to be able to express who they are and not constantly be compared to each other. They're not the same. Kevin?
Back, David, remember a couple of years ago, there was some thought that maybe one would be traded. I'm glad they're still together. Here's Pritchard, 6 to shoot. Holiday inside the line, and good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
Holiday gives them a steady option with this jump shot. That's a nice asset to have.
Hey, Shams, no one is keyed on the league like you. Is there an under-the-radar trend that you're seeing around the NBA, or the next thing that you're anticipating may happen with the way the league will sway one way or the other?
Talking to executives around the league, it's clear that length has been very important, but having players that do multiple things and are versatile, that is of the utmost importance right now. We saw what happened with the Celtics winning a championship this year. I think that certainly is going to have an impact on how teams are going to build moving forward. Like the Celtics, you want to have players, 3 to 5 players that are playing heavy minutes for you, that are doing everything out there on the floor, not just one particular move.
A dangerous scorer from just about every area. Bridges very good at capitalizing in a number of ways.
Here's Brown, and Bridges with the block. Horford. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Bridges has got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Rebounded by the Celtics.
And he's a good shooter from outside, but not sure from that deep.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's jacking them up from way out there these days. You want guys to stay within themselves.
And Holiday kicks to Porzingis. A miss that time would have put him up.
Well, the defense catches a break there. You expect him to make those.
On the wing, Miller shoots over Brown. Miller, no luck.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the look they want. It's tough working the mid-range area.
Pritchard gets the bucket.
And those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten here in the first half.
Here's Micic, still without a basket. There's the lob to Bridges, an emphatic alley-oop jam.
And you could see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other. And Shams, what an absolute delight it has been having you courtside with all of us tonight. thank you so much for taking time to join us. It has been a true pleasure.
Thanks so much for the invite. I can't wait to do it again sometime. I'm honored. I'm privileged.
Oh, we are going to hold you to that. Thank you again. And what a treat it was to have Sean stop by. He's definitely become part of the fabric of the NBA.
Yeah, and I'll say this. You won't meet a harder worker in terms of NBA coverage. Shams has amazing dedication to his craft.
Well, Greg, Boston didn't just win the title. They won their 18th NBA championship in style.
No series went more than 5, going 16-3 in the postseason, Kevin. Half of those wins were by 15 or more. The Celtics really weren't even challenged during that title run.
Curry against White. Micic can't hit. Celtics trail by 3.
Definitely got to use the clock here and get the last shot.
Yeah, but if you get an open look, you got to think about taking it no matter how much time is left on the clock.
Here's Micic. No good. Shot missing. And some good action through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Hornets lead by 1. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the 3rd quarter after our halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We welcome you back. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Quite the tussle there in the first half, huh? The first quarter for the Hornets was fairly even. Some good action during the period, as it was just a 1-point game at the end of 1. In the second quarter, they put in the work to create a slight scoring advantage. Kenny, let's get your take on Charlotte.
This is what the home fan loves to see. Their squad coming out and putting together strong performance. We'll see a couple individual standouts, but what really stand out is how hard they work and how they're playing together.
And over to Shaq now. Your take on the Celtics.
You know, they haven't shot the ball very well. Not nearly enough quality looks. Right now, this game could easily come down to shot selection and how they run their offense. They need to keep the ball moving and generate better looks.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The 3rd quarter just about to get started.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. What can you say, guys? Miles Bridges, an impressive effort here today.
Well, with a double-double in hand through 2 quarters, you can just imagine what his stat line will look like at the end of this one.
Well, he's already put in a full day's work. They might want to lighten the load on him in the second half.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. Up it forward, it's Miller and Bridges. Trey Mann is out there with ball, and it's Williams at the pivot spot manning the middle. So that's the lineup for Charlotte. Back to Ball. Shoots. Wide open shot is on the money. Ball's got his team on the board first here in the second half for the Hornets. Outside Tatum. White, wide open. He fires. Good, and it's Tatum picking up the assist. White's got the game tied up here for the Celtics. Passes it to Bridges. Greg, you've been a part of some great contending teams over the years, but what's it like being on a team at the bottom of the standings with not a lot of hope for the regular season?
Well, Kevin, no one likes losing, but it can certainly take a toll. But it can also allow you to play more freely when you know you're bad and you're not having to deal with the pressure of expectations.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
Bridges passes to Miller. Bridges trying to free himself up. And Boston with the rebound. Porzingis has got 9 rebounds now tonight. Tatum slips by the contact inside.
And guys, it's no easy task defending Tatum inside. You can body him up, bump him, he'll still find a way.
Back to Miller. And Miller throws it down hard.
And once he gets clear off the screen, there is no stopping him.
No, not when there's a flush waiting to happen.
Well, give credit to the screener there. That's how you help free up your teammates.
Here's White. Bridges with the board. Bridges has got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
Yeah, but they're 3 of 4 to start the second half.
Bridges against Tatum. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played.
Well, with his dribble moves, Tatum will get where he needs to go, and he's an outstanding finisher.
And the latest now from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David, it's all yours. Take it away.
Kevin, well, like a lockdown corner in football, teams just try to keep the ball away from Jrue Holiday. He says, I feel like they're not afraid of me, but like, okay, get him off the ball. To me, that's respect. I don't need other people telling me how good I am. You can see it by their actions. Kevin?
So true. He can be intimidating, David, and we thank you for that report. That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut down to just 3 on the basket from Ball.
LaMelo using that body control there, making a play off contact.
Outside, White. Tatum wide open. He fires one. Offline with his 3.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Celtics leading by 3. Kicks it to Holiday. Outside, Tatum. Brown outside. Boston again missing.
Well, his team has the lead, but this has to be a bit of a concern for him. The shot isn't falling, and it's been a forgettable night.
Ball finds Bridges. For the tie. And that's collected by Jrue Holiday. 1:46 left in the third quarter. Can't get it to fall. Hornets trail by 3. Now Bridges, 19 points in the game. Miller outside. Ball surveying the defense. Good, and Miller gets the assist. Ball's got 7 now in this quarter.
And Ball continues to show he can drain threes. The defense must adjust or he is going to keep doing damage.
And Holiday kicks to Brown. And they come right back with their own 3-pointer. And the Celtics lead by 3. And here's Bridges. He'll bring it up for the Hornets. Over Tatum. Bridges misses. Boston's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That's on Miles Bridges.
Well, there's a high percentage look for Tatum. The defense did what it could.
So an almost entirely new group in now for Charlotte. Nick Richards, he's checked in for Mark Williams. Grant Williams comes in for Bridges. Josh Green's checked in for Miller. And it's Seth Curry in for Trey Mann. Outside Curry. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
The Hornets shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And last season, as a team, they knocked down 79% of their free throws, so those are numbers you'll be happy with.
We expect nothing less. He's generally been very good at the line.
Tatum against Williams. A 3 from Tatum.
And certainly they are not hesitating, letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
Here's Ball. Bank shot, no good. White looking around. Tatum, and the dunk by Tatum.
And just tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard. And so it's the Boston Celtics holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. A good size advantage, and they'll look to increase it. We come back right after this. And now we have a moment to reveal our State Farm assist of the game.
And, you know, you can always count on him for at least a couple of these pretty assists over the course of a game. And this one, a thing of beauty.
Well, that is what coaches want from their point guards. Set others up, play the game the right way.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this fourth and final quarter. Celtics leading by 8. On the court for the Celtics, the guards are Pritchard and White. Then there's Jason Tatum. And it's Cornette in at the 5. Hornets shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Curry dishes to Green. Back to Curry. Lays it up and banks it in.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
Here's Pritchard. Sinks that one from the post. Pritchard's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for the Celtics.
Not everything fell for him in that first half, and now it looks like they're beginning to hit their stride.
Ball with the bucket.
Wow, has he flipped the switch at halftime. Much more effective here in the second half.
Here's Pritchard. He's covered by Ball. Stan, as you know, in past years, Peyton Pritchard had always wanted a starting role. Now, more opportunity, and he has responded.
Yeah, Kevin, he's very competitive and certainly deserving of rotation minutes. He is just now entering his prime.
Taj Gibson's checked in for the Hornets. Cody Martin comes in for Seth Curry. Al Horford, he's checked in for the Celtics. Charlotte calls timeout. And during this timeout, I'm sure they'll be hydrating themselves with Gatorade. All the effort out there on the floor, and these timeouts can be such a huge factor in getting a short rest and recharging the battery. Drew Holiday, he's checked in for Pritchard. And now we've got some time to check in from the sidelines. What do you got for us, DA?
Well, Kevin, I had a chance to find out what Charlotte's coach was going over with his guys. Now, he's encouraging them to keep attacking in the paint. He said, when we get inside, we score. Simple as that. Keep attacking and don't settle for anything that's not at the rim. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, David. Here's Cornette, guarded by Green. Holiday gets the bucket. Holiday's got the lead up to 9 now for the Celtics.
Well, that's just fantastic awareness inside by Holiday. I like seeing him attack down there.
Here's Ball. And the Hornets miss again. Celtics leading by 9. And here's Holiday. And he converts the layup.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Hornets have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Outside, Ball. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. Hey, Stan, I've always wondered, back when you were coaching, college or pro, what was your defensive philosophy?
Well, I think, first of all, Kevin, we always wanted to take away the easy baskets. In other words, we're going to get back in transition, not give away fast breaks. we are going to try to protect the paint and make sure we're not giving away layups, and we didn't want to foul unnecessarily and give away free throws.
Holiday with it, and it's Martin picking him up. Here's Bridges. Shoots over White. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Bridges.
And Ball is a proven distributor. He's got a real talent for spotting the cracks in the D.
Ball against Holiday. It's White on the wing. It's rebounded by Charlotte. On the wing, Miller. Ball against Holiday. And there's the call on Cody Martin. That's his first foul. Mark Williams is checked in for the Hornets. Boston also with the sub. Porzingis is checked in. Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
And coach is looking to seize every advantage, maximize every possession.
Well, that's the job, right? Your duty as a coach is to finesse your lineups so your guys get the best chance to succeed.
And now a moment to present the New Balance Player of the Game, Jason Tatum.
And tell you what, he's worked very hard to get himself in good position throughout the course of this game. And that comes across in his shooting percentage. He's hit over half his shots from the field. And that's not because he got hot as much as it's because of the effort he put in to get himself open.
He's really seemed to feed off the hostile environment he's been faced with tonight. Horford the pass to Porzingis. Nails the baby hook. And the Celtics lead by 9.
Yeah, try as they might, the defense can't stop Porzingis inside. He's too tall and too committed.
The Celtics have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. And it's Brown missing. And here's Ball. He'll bring it up for the Charlotte Hornets. Bridges misses.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
Yeah, that's the kind of aggressive defense you always want to see on the interior.
And it's Brown missing.
Suffocating defense to keep the layup from falling.
Down low, Miller. And it's Miller with the jam.
Oh, easy money for Miller. He just generates offense.
Celtics leading by 7. Now here's White. Brown outside. 1:03 left in the game. Here's White, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Well, White is such a well-rounded player. He can run the offense, act as an off-ball threat, he sets screens, and he's an all-defensive team level player. He checks a lot of boxes.
Trey Mann, he's checked in for the Hornets. Ball kicks to Miller. The 3. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut down now to just 6 in the basket from Ball.
And Ball ready for these moments, showing he wants the rock in his hands. Love it.
And finished off by Brown.
Timeout. They're in total command of this game with time starting to run out.
Yeah, and at this point, the focus is take care of the ball, no needless fouls, and no threes.
Charlotte calls timeout. They're behind by 8. There's 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter. There's the lob to Bridges. Close the alley-oop. Holiday against Ball. Holiday the pass to White. 27 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Here's Porzingis. Shoots over Ball. Nice shot by Porzingis. And now it's a 10-point Celtic lead.
And it's just competing, you know, giving your best when it matters most.
Yeah, they've got clutch guys on this team, and they never let up.
The kick out to Ball. Here's Mann. And it's off from three-point range. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And now let's go over to David Aldridge from the sideline for an interview with our player of the game. Hey, David.
Thanks very much, Jason. It was a struggle last time out, but tonight you were back on track. What was the difference?
Just got to have a short-term memory. Sometimes shots just go in, but you always got to be aggressive and just make the right play.
You're like a cornerback in basketball. That's weird, but it got you a win tonight, man. Congrats. Back to you.
All right, David, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Stan Van Gundy, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for being with us tonight on 2K Sports. See you later.